Here it is. 5 vinyl. Five. That's crazy. Okay, we're going to crack it open. We've got the both sides box set here. Question is, do we need this? I mean, first of all, if you run a Phil Collins YouTube channel, you need content. You need things to talk about. Oh my gosh, this is very, very substantial. I will say right out of the gate, it is heavier and more substantial than the Last Domino box set. Even though the Last Domino box set, I believe, is 4 discs, this is 5 discs. I think this is crazy. Here's the back. So one of the great things already that we know about this is that it's the original artwork, which is nice because the most recent time we have this on vinyl is with the 2016 with the new pictures of Phil. So I'm going to crack it open. There's the spine there, Atlantic Records, both sides, all the sides. And as we can see here, just in case you want to know, in the spine, we have the proper album, and then we have 3 additional discs. Oh, and I forgot we get a book with this. 180 gram, 5 LP set featuring the original album, High Speed, mastered at Abbey Road Studios. Interesting. The original album, High Speed, mastered at Abbey Road Studios. I wonder if does that mean it's the Nick Davis remixes or the remasters from 2016? Or does it mean that they took the originals and just remastered them now? I'm very curious about that. Okay, this is really cool because this is exactly like the original. I'll bring the original up so you can see it in a minute. So this is the actual album, and this does not look like both sides remastered from 2016 that had Phil and his looking older. You can tell that it feels different, feels more like the original album, and it doesn't have the special 2016 notes here. Let's see if there's any credits. So now I'm really interested if this is potentially the original mixes, original masters. This looks different though. That's really cool. And we got a photo there. This is beautiful. Really beautiful. Beautiful disc. Kind of the cream and brown. Record 2. It just says record 2. That's really cool. Oh, here it is. We finally, for the first time ever, we get actual real information about the music, about the master. They usually hide that on the Genesis remix. So it says published by Concord Music Publishing. And it says, which also tells us they're behind these reissues. Originally 1993, remaster 2015, and 2020, remaster 2015, 2024 craft recordings. So what we know then is that this is the 2016 remasters that you can find today on digital, and that was part of the Take a Look at Me Now box set. This is disc number 2. Okay, so this is a gatefold, a beautiful spine. This is identical to the original pressing, which is really hard to find. One of the big things is, when we talk about, is this necessary? We'll go into that. I'm going to take it downstairs and listen to it for a little bit. Then I'll come back up and chat. One of the reasons why this is necessary is because both sides is really hard to get on vinyl. It's hard for 2 reasons. It's second only to Dance Into the Light. But first of all, the original pressing, which I have a copy of, is extremely hard to find. You have to get it on Discogs, and it's about $50 to $75, depending on where you get it. They didn't press very many of them in 1994. Second of all, the remasters that they did, where they did a run of them back in 2016, if you didn't get it then, and I was lucky enough to be on the ball and got them then, they're impossible to find, very hard to find. They're not impossible, but they're very hard to find, and they're closer to $100 each. And I know some people out there who are really struggling looking for those new versions of Dance Into the Light and Testify. You see, they did repressings of Face, Hello, No Jacket, and But Seriously, but the both sides Dance Into the Light, Going Back, and Testify, they only did the original run, I believe, because they're very hard to find. Okay, it's the first disc. And by the way, we've got this box here. Let's see. Okay, so now what we have here is, this has a spine. And so we have just some of the artwork from the singles. That's the single cover to Everyday, right? And so here we have, okay, so what do we have on this disc? We have Can't Find a Way demo, Hero demo. Wait, what record is this? Oh, wait, sorry. This is all the sides, record number 3. Okay. Let's do record number 2. Sorry. Oh, I see. Sorry. Okay. This is, you can't see this, it's so small, but this is record number 1 and 2. So they're calling the main album record number 1 and 2. Then they're calling this is disc number 3. You know what? That's kind of nice. So we have the cover and we have also a sleeve, which is really cool. And the information. So quite a lot of printing. It makes sense why there's $175. Okay, so we have Can't Find My Way demo, taken from Both Sides Deluxe Edition CD. Hero demo, taken from We Wait and We Wonder 7-inch CD singles. Both sides of the demo, Everyday early demo. Side F, the other side is Don't Call Me Ashley, which is an instrumental, I believe. Rad Dudesky, which is also, I believe, an instrumental. For a Friend. And then I've Been Trying, which is, if I'm not mistaken, I've Been Trying is also on the Love Songs CD compilation. Okay, so this is basically, this disc is just demos, which is cool. I think I'm going to listen to this. That's very cool. A lot of those were on the CD Deluxe Edition. So I don't think there's anything there we've never heard before. Now we're on to disc 4, which is a live ish. We'll talk about this in a minute. I really want every Phil Collins album to get this treatment on vinyl. I'm a big vinyl collector. I'm a big Phil fan. So I would be okay if we had a big But Seriously box like this and a big No Jacket box and a big Face Value. It's just as long as they dig a little deeper than just the 2016 Deluxe Edition CDs. Dig a little deeper than that. Get some more bootlegs, some more weird stuff that we haven't found. Okay, so this is record G and H, or record number 4, side G and side H. We have Both Sides of the Story live, taken from Both Sides Deluxe CD. Doesn't really say when it was recorded, but I think we're assuming it's from the tour, the Both Sides tour. Can't Turn Back the Years live, Survivors live. Then you flip over, we have Everyday live, We Wait and We Wonder live, and Both Sides of the Story from Unplugged, MTV Unplugged, 1994. So this disc number 4, live music from the Both Sides album. So both sides, so we have Both Sides the album, then we have Both Sides the demos, then we have Both Sides the live songs. And our final disc, I think this is the more the wild card one. It's got a black and white cover. This looks super weird. And so they've now abandoned the brown color scheme, but they're still doing it here. So this is just the album cover, but now in black and white. And so now we have just some like randos here. Hanging Long Enough live, which came from the Everyday CD single, performed by 10 serious guys and 1 serious gal. Okay, so does that mean it's from the But Seriously tour? Hanging Long Enough, which I'll tell you what, this is what I think of. Okay, let me read the song titles and then I'll tell you why I'm actually most looking forward to this disc. Hand in Hand live, which I think is coming from the But Seriously tour. Hand in Hand live, and then Doesn't Anybody Stay Together live, also performed by 10 serious guys and 1 serious gal. Then on side J, we have Always live, and then we have Stevie's Blues, There's a Place for Us instrumental, and Take Me With You. So Take Me With You, I believe, is a B-side, and I've heard that before somewhere. There's a Place for Us instrumental. So what's weird to me is like those two songs shouldn't be on here. They should be on the B-sides one, but they didn't, maybe because they didn't fit, but those should be on there, maybe in the place of like Rad Dudesky or something. But the rest of this record is interesting, although it has nothing to do with Both Sides. But what's interesting about these songs, because I thought these live versions would actually be from the 1994 tour, like the Both Sides tour. Instead, it seems to be, because it says 10 serious guys, 1 serious gal. I believe these are the live songs from But Seriously that didn't make serious hits. Like Hanging Long Enough is what they opened the show with. Well, they opened it with Hand in Hand, which is always on here. Then Hanging Long Enough. That's not on Serious Hits Live. Doesn't Anybody Stay Together Anymore, which I believe is the slowed down version. will know when I spin this. I'll be right back. I'll listen and I'll let you know. Always was a like kind of an encore-ish towards the end that he would occasionally play. So they have these live songs that are from the But Serious tour. So if they're going to do a box set for But Seriously, like these are the songs you'd want on there. You'd want all of those, like, I think they also did Long, Long Way to Go or Inside Out. A lot of deep cuts that never made it on Serious Hits. So why the heck are they in a both sides box set? It's just bizarre to me. Honestly, the only thing I can think, and we have like 2 more both sides B-sides. The only reason I can think is because this box is like a pre-made, pre-sized box. They wanted to make it 5 discs, or they had to make it 5 discs, and they didn't have enough both sides material to make it 5 discs. That's my theory. My theory is that this box template calls for 5 discs and a book, and that's what they needed to do. And so they had to come up with 5 discs. That's my theory. Or maybe they've already got the next album ready and it had to be 5 discs, and so they just needed both sides to fit. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why they did that. So here's this. Maybe I'll get some B-sides, B-shots of this. Oh, I'm going to go read this and then I'll let you know. Oh, welcome to Both Sides. So this says excerpt from Both Sides Remaster Notes 2015. So Phil didn't even contribute to this box set, it looks like. But we got more photos. I don't know who wrote this. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's cool. Okay, here we have the credits here. I'll show a clip of this in a sec, but I'll read it to you. So this is all the sides credit. Remastered by Nick Davis. Mastered by Miles Showell at Abbey Road. Technical assistance, Jeff Kellingham. All sides essay by Michael Hahn. Art direction for Chris Payton at Vivoid. So even if this was the remastered by Nick Davis, I think it would have been mastered again so that everything, for vinyl, so that everything, because the mixes for the CD would need to be mastered for vinyl, just to make sure everything is consistent. And if you're listening to from one disc to the next, it all has to sound pretty coherent. And I'm not sure that these But Seriously songs would have been mastered, because I don't know if they ever saw a release other than maybe, did it say? Taken from, okay, Hanging Long Enough came from Everyday CD single. Okay, it says they all came from the CD singles. Both Sides of the Story CD single is where Always Live came from. Stevie's Blues came from We Wait and We Wonder single. And Take Me With You came from the We Wait and We Wonder CD single in 1994. Okay, still, I guess that's why they're considering them to be relevant to both sides. The album is that because they were included on a CD single. I think it's a bit of a stretch, but it's okay. Let's go take a listen to everything. I'll be right back. Okay, so it's a new day. I was just, last night I went downstairs and I did some listening and I did some exploring through the liner notes. And here's what I will say. First of all, the best things about this box set are the fact that you just get both sides on vinyl with the original artwork, which is something that's not accessible to most people. So that's great. And it sounds good. It has it sounds good. I brought some other box sets up here because I wanted to talk to them. I wanted to talk about them and compare them. By the way, here's the original. This is something I just picked up on Discogs not too long ago. So you can see there's a little bit of oh, look at that. Is that cool? You can tell there's a little bit of a color Whoops, hold on. There's a little bit of a color difference here. The old one is kind of more yellowy sepia, and this one's a little bit creamier. I like the new one better. So that's the original, and then the new original. And the new original has a slightly thicker spine. It's pretty much the exact same. I also brought up the old one, the 2015, although it didn't come out to 2016. So this is the old picture of him being old, and then the new one from the box set in my left hand here. Okay, so I brought up those, and then we're back with the box. I will say, okay, I listen to everything. I will say there's some confusing things. I still don't know why they made it a 5-disc box set, but here's what I will say. Absolute best bang for your buck for this box set, like I mentioned, is having an original copy of both sides on vinyl, because it's hard to get today. The second best thing is having hand in hand on vinyl, like the complete like 7-minute version from the opening of the Serious Hits tour. And I mean, for me, I grew up with that Live in Berlin VHS. And so I watched that as much as I listened to Serious Hits on cassette or on CD. And so to hear like those sounds, that kind of that elephant animal noise at the beginning, and you know, the percussion that's starting for a really long time, having it done, mastered on vinyl, sounding really, really great is very, very cool. And then it goes into Hand in Hand on the VHS, I believe. On this box set, it actually starts with Hanging Long Enough. Then it goes into Hand in Hand, and there's a seamless transition of the crowd. And then, of course, we have the version of Doesn't Anybody Stay Together Anymore. So why these are on the Both Sides box set? Because they're from the Serious Hits tour. The only weird connection is that they did appear on an Everyday CD single or a Both Sides of the Story CD single. That's the only connection to Both Sides. So that's a bit weird. But I'm grateful to have those. And I'll probably listen to that disc the most. It's disc number 5, which is looks a little different from the rest. And yeah, and it has Always Live. And then it has, There's a Place for Us instrumental, which again, like it all just doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I am grateful for that. Like I do like having those on vinyl. I honestly think like it leads me to what I think is probably the best thing that they should release on vinyl. And that is the entire Serious Hit show including songs like, Hanging Long Enough and Hand in Hand, but also stuff like that slowed down version of Doesn't Anybody Stay Together. Inside Out is also on that set. I think they did a big Saturday Night, Sunday Morning and West Side mix as well. There's a lot of stuff that happened that didn't appear. That's Just the Way It Is, I believe, or That's the Way It Is, didn't appear on Serious Hits. And so to do like a 3 vinyl set, very much like this set here. This set is 3 vinyl. To do a 3 vinyl big set of the entire But Seriously tour, maybe live at Madison Square Gardens, or just using the audio from the Berlin show, which sounds like what they did on this box set. So yeah, I think that there is definitely things that they could do. Will they do that? I don't know. The other question I had that's interesting is like, this is a beautiful box set. I'm glad to own it. The question that I have is, are they going to do more of this? Like, this is an odd album to start with because critically it's not his best. Like, not everybody loves this. For me, I love this. I love doing this. That's fun. For me, I love this album. So I'm very grateful that they started doing a box by doing, the collector's edition on vinyl of Both Sides, because I think it's a criminally underrated record. But like, from a cultural standpoint, Face Value, No Jacket Required, even But Seriously are way bigger than this record from a sales standpoint and from a critical standpoint. So why did they start here? Well, maybe they started working on this last year, which would have been the 30th anniversary. So maybe that's what they're thinking. And allegedly, there is something coming with respect to The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, perhaps any minute now. And that's corresponding with this year being the 50th anniversary. And so maybe Concord, I don't know if Concord is managing that, because I don't know if they have the rights to that far back in the catalog. You can correct me. Nobody really knows. But again, it's just weird to start with Both Sides. Let's look at next year. So next year will be 2025. It will be the 40th anniversary of No Jacket Required. Okay, so I think you could potentially do a No Jacket, but 5 disc is a little bit tough. Here's how I would do it. Okay. Are you guys listening? Concord, listen up. Here's how we would do the No Jacket thing. I mean, it's getting a little late now, but okay. So we do the full album. That's disc 1. No problem with the original artwork, but maybe the new Nick Davis remasters. Okay. So that's disc 1. Disc 2 is maybe B-sides and demos. So do we have a demo for every single song? I don't know. If you look at the deluxe CD, it's Only You Know and I Know. Take Me Home, maybe there's a demo for. There's only like 3 demos on there. So if you can drum up more demos, just go knock on Phil's door and say, hey, do you have more cassettes kicking around from the No Jacket days? Because people would love just like a 7-minute drum loop of that 909 beat from Take Me Home. Like, if he's got it out there, great. But it seems to me like they're not digging into Phil, like that they are just whatever has been released on CD single, 7 inches, compilations over the years. That's what we're bringing together. So if you're doing a No Jacket Required compilation, you maybe grab the 3 demos we know exist. If there are more demos out there, great. There's also there is also a B-side, I Like the Way. Is that the right tune? Am I thinking about the B-side of One More Night? That's a really good song. So you could do that. There's The Man with the Horn is a B-side. We also have, like, there's a bunch of remixes too from the 12 inches. Like there's all of the 12ers. 12ers. Yeah. 12ers has never been on vinyl before. I think it is Japanese. It's out there. I saw it in a record store 15 years ago and I passed over it for some stupid reason. But 12ers on vinyl is hard to find. Okay, start over. No Jacket Required. Disc 1 is the album. Disc 2 is 12ers, all the remixes. Disc 3 is demos and B-sides. So The Man with the Horn, We Said Hello Goodbye, and I Like the Way, and whatever else you can find. So demos and B-sides. That's disc number 3. We're doing this. Disc number 4 and 5. Pay attention, Concord. I'm doing your job for you. You're welcome. You can just message me here. I'll help. For free, pro bono, I'll help. Here's what we do. Disc 4 and 5 is No Ticket Required. The complete show, listen, we know it's on vinyl already out there. Do the complete show of No Ticket Required. Take the audio from that Dallas show or wherever, and man, that's a beautiful concert. Beautiful concert, incredible set list. They've got Behind the Lines on there. You got It Don't Matter to Me, like China. It's a great set list. So take that concert, spread it across 2 discs, and I just created a No Jacket Required box set for you. You're welcome. I hope they do it. So that's the question for me, is like, Both Sides is a great album. It did have some B-sides to it. I think, pause for a second. Let's talk about those B-sides. There's some fantastic B-sides on here. Hero is the Hero demo. Can't Find My Way demo. Those are cool. Don't Call Me Ashley is not a great B-side, in my opinion. Furthermore, Rad Dudesky, it's okay. For a Friend is mind-blowing, absolutely beautiful. I've Been Trying is very, very beautiful. Take Me With You, also very beautiful. Just looking real quick, I've Been Trying was on the on this record. I'm curious, where did Tearing and Breaking come from? Tearing and Breaking must be a Testify B-side. Or maybe it was recorded specifically for the Love Song Project. I'm not sure. Anyway, lots of great stuff on here. Some stuff that are a little bit of head scratchers. Like, I mean, some of the B-sides, you've put them on the CDs, you put them on digital. Did they need to be pressed to vinyl? Like, is Don't Call Me Ashley a song that's worthy of a vinyl cut? In my opinion, no. But if you're trying to fill up 5 discs, great. That brings me to the question I said at the beginning. Why 5 discs? Because it seems like putting the live music from Serious Hits on here was a real stretch. So why 5 discs? My theory, as I mentioned, is that this is a predetermined size box that holds 5 records. And they wanted to do this box because it's cool. It's heavy. It's worth a lot of money. Like if you go to a record store and you see it for $150, you understand why. And I believe there's a market for box sets. I mean, Concord, Atlantic, Rhino, Kraft, they know better than me. And I was in a record store the other day and there was a gentleman in his 50s who bought a Kinks box set, a vintage one, and then a Beatles box set, a brand new one. He dropped over $500 and that's not including the single records he had in his hand. So there's obviously a market for box sets. So why 5? I'm not sure. There's this box set, which isn't quite as nice because you don't have actual records. They're just paper that's like a book. So, but this is a 4-disc box set. So again, you could have done another one of these, and you could possibly have left off that live record and just done 4. You could have also done 3 and done this way, but here's the issue with 3 discs is it's now all of a sudden it's like only a $60 record. It's not a $150 record, not a great profit margin. It's not like really a collectible. It's not really that much different. A 3-disc record's not that much different than what they did here in 2016. So to me, I kind of like what they did, even if it meant that they had to scrape the barrel for extra content. And the reason I liked it is because you actually got the album. So right here, I have the album, and it's not like, aside from just saying disc 1 and 2 down here at the bottom, which is tiny, this is legitimately the Both Sides album. It's not like it doesn't have new artwork. It doesn't say it's part of a compilation. It's legitimately the Both Sides record on vinyl. So for any of you out there who weren't able to get Both Sides when it came out in 2016, same with Dance Into the Light. Here's the thing. If you're a diehard Phil fan, then it's a maybe. If you're a diehard vinyl collector and fan of vinyl, and you're a diehard Phil fan, then it's a definite yes. And that's where I am, and I know some of you are out there where you love your vinyl collection. The last thing I'll say about this box set is what I appreciate about it so much and why I'm going to love to look at it in my collection. And let's be honest, a lot of vinyl collectors, we look at our records more than we listen to them. I'm just very happy to have this giant ass spine to remind me how beautiful this album is. And to remind me, oh yeah, there's Both Sides. What a great album. What a criminally underappreciated album. I absolutely love this. By the way, there's a live version of, that's the other thing I didn't talk about, is disc 4 is somewhat of a disappointment. It has the live songs from this album, some songs from this album. They're board mixes, and they're not that great. They don't sound very good. With the exception of Can't Turn Back the Years, has this beautiful intro by Brad Cole, and it's just so ambient and beautiful. I wish that version was on the record. So I'm really happy to have that on vinyl. But like Both Sides of the Story sounds a little bit not so great, although the MTV Unplugged does sound good. Yeah, anyway, my point is this box set in my collection is just going to be about celebrating both sides. So I look at it over there, I go, yeah, what a great album. And I'm happy to have it. I'm happy to have it here next to my other records. I'm a big fan of Both Sides. So congratulations. Okay, the last thing I wanted to say is we talked about the future of these box sets. The fact that they didn't just make a box set for Face Value, his most popular record, the fact that they didn't just make a box set for his most popular record, in fact, started with a box set with one of his least popular records, makes me think there'll be more in the future. As I already helped Concord with, a No Jacket Required box set is going to be fairly easy to put together. After that, could we do a Dance Into the Light in 2026? Maybe. I don't know what kind of B-sides are out there for that. There's definitely a lot of live recordings. There's Live and Loose in Paris. Oh my gosh, that whole tour. That deserves to, yeah, I'll help you with that one too, guys. What about Genesis? Like, we're seeing the regular black Charisma records being repressed on vinyl. Nothing new, nothing different happening with those. Potentially just the Nick Davis stuff from early mid-2000s, but no B-sides or anything. Will we ever see like a box like this done for Invisible Touch? You know, maybe. Again, when you kind of take the 5 discs and you say one disc is the album, one disc is all the B-sides from, let's say, songs like Feeding the Fire, Do the Neurotic. There's a bunch from the Invisible Touch era. Maybe another disc is all of the remixes, the 12-inch remix, the extended editions that they had on the 12-inch records. And then maybe the last 2 discs are what Parachute or Gimme Recordings just released, which was like the Live in LA, the complete Invisible Touch tour. So Invisible Touch could definitely have a box set like this. Same with We Can't Dance. You could do the 2-disc We Can't Dance record. Then you could do a vinyl of B-sides, including all the B-sides from, I'm drawing a blank right now, but forgive me, you know what I'm talking about. From We Can't Dance, and then maybe 2 discs of something from the We Can't Dance tour, like the entire show that includes Driving the Last Spike and Living Forever, Fading Lights. Anyway, okay, I'm talking too much. I've just given Concord enough reasons to send me an email. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to pick up this record. I know it doesn't make sense for a lot of you, but for any of you out there who are a massive vinyl collector, a massive Phil fan, and a loser with a YouTube channel, then this record makes a lot of sense. So thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments.